The number one question I get asked about quilt pattern writing and building a creative business is, how do you start? And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing a very simple secret to success that really answers this question. It's the first steps of success. The first step to becoming a quilt pattern designer, the first step to growing a creative business online. And stick with me to the end because I have a very special invitation to you to help you get started on this journey to quilt pattern designer and creative entrepreneur. Let's do this. Welcome to A Creative Odyssey. I'm Ryde. I'm a designer, an entrepreneur, and online educator obsessed with all things design, quilting, and creative business. Whether you're a seasoned quilter or you're just starting out, whether you're passionate about design and textiles, or whether you're a creative business geek who loves to nerd out on all the moving parts that go into making a creative business thrive, you are in the right place. I'm excited to share insights from my creative odyssey with you as I navigate design, creativity, and growing an online business on this journey as a creative entrepreneur. Are you ready to explore the possibilities of design and discover the world of creative business? It's time to embark on a creative odyssey. Starting is always the hardest part, am I right? And what comes after is often almost always easier in comparison. In his book, The War of Art, Steven Pressfield talks about what he calls resistance. I don't know if you've read this book. If you haven't, go and grab a copy. I've got it in a place that I sit down and read it. Most days I pick it up and read a couple of pages of it, just short little snippets of very succinct and very to the point advice about how to just get done the things that you want to get done in your life. You know, that daily struggle to get your butt in the chair, to get your hands on the pen or the paintbrush or the mouse or the needle and thread, whatever it is, and actually just get started. How many times have you thought about doing something, but that friction of starting has just been too much? That could be anything from getting a sketch down on paper, starting to finish that quilt that you've designed, starting to finish the whip that you've had there for years and years and years, the work in progress, whatever it is that you've got that you have been meaning to get started on, that friction sometimes of just starting can be too much. So what if there was a simple truth, this first simple step that's going to help you beat this resistance and get started, just push against that friction and help you slip right onto that path of success as a designer and a creative entrepreneur and somebody living that life that they want to lead. Like I mentioned, one of the most frequent questions I get is, how do I start? How do I become a quilt pattern designer? How do I start to grow a creative business online? Well, here is the simple truth. One of the main secrets of success is showing up. Yes, it is as simple as that. You might have seen there's a quote by Woody Allen that 80% of success is showing up. And you know what? I really think that this is true. For me, showing up is incredibly important. In fact, it's integral to my philosophy, my way of doing life and business and design, that it's actually the first part of the mantra that I share with all of my Quilt Design Code students. The mantra is show up, keep it simple, make it easy. Well, what does this look like for designers? Show up and keep your eyes wide and your heart open and seek that inspiration out. Keep your designs simple and then making your quilt pattern easy for the people who are making it. Help them to recreate this amazing design that you've come up with. These three things are also really the guiding principles for entrepreneurs too as well, right? Show up for those opportunities that come your way. Keep it simple. Don't complicate your offer. Don't complicate your marketing. Don't complicate your business. And make it easy. Build your business in a way that serves you. What is the easiest, most frictionless way that you can do something? This isn't gymnastics, right? You don't get extra points for degree of difficulty when you're executing a task like building an email list or building your website, something like that. So make it easy. It doesn't have to be hard. Showing up for me also really means, being present, being you, being in the moment, being there so that you can make the most of the opportunities that come your way, make the most of the connections that you can create as well, whether that's with other creatives, whether that's with people in your family or in your day-to-day life. Being present, whether that's at events or at dinner at night, whether that's participating in classes, engaging with people, showing up. This is what it's about. This is how you gather those points, those dots that you can then connect up as part of your experience to create a unique experience for somebody else, a unique design, a unique business, a unique offer. So my own experience, and yours probably as well, is that if you show up, if you participate, if you engage with people, you are always more likely to get something out of the experience, something more. Whether that's, chatting to a stranger on the bus or making friends with that person standing next to you at the concert, being an active participant in the meeting that you're in, showing up to the class and asking questions. Yes, I know it's hard to show up. That's why those who do are the ones who are chipping away at success. Committing to showing up to every class, committing to show up every day for your 15 minutes of exercise, committing to a daily design practice and then showing up and doing it. Committing to a week of lessons about something that you've been thinking about doing and finally acting on it. Showing up. This is what it's all about. This is that first step to take, that commitment that then follows into the success, that things follow on from that commitment that you take. Ideas, we like to think are something that we need to act on them all of the time, right? Well, let's think about it this way. Ideas are a dime a dozen. We have loads of ideas. The problem is never that we don't have enough ideas. The problem is executing those ideas, acting on them and taking action. And this is where the showing up comes in. You can't take action on something if you're not there to do it, right? If you're not there for it, if you're not there to do it, you can't take action on something that you're not there for. This is where that showing up comes in and how linked it is to having success in whatever it is that you're trying to do. So this is true as a designer. This is true as a creative entrepreneur. This is true as a human. I can have an incredible stack of design ideas, but if I don't show up and execute them, create them into something, then they're never going to become an incredible quilt or a painting or a drawing or whatever it is that you're trying to create. Those quilt pattern ideas, they're going to remain right there in that pile of papers, in that ideation phase, unless you show up, unless you act and execute and make them into something more. So why show up? Well, if you do, not only are you going to have that richness of a life fully lived with more interactions, more connections that you can create with people, more chances to learn, to bring joy, to inspire and to be inspired, you're also going to be more open to opportunities that come your way. Think of all of those chance meetings, those chance encounters, a smile from a stranger, someone holding the door open for you, a conversation with somebody different. Any little tiny small interaction that you have, if you're not there, you don't show up, those are going to be missed opportunities. Think about that walk that you took. Instead of sitting at your desk and staring at a blank piece of paper, you showed up and you went for a walk. You came across 10, 20, 30 new design ideas. Inspiration was just jumping out at you left, right, and center. That time that you tried something different off the menu than what you normally try, opening yourself up to all of these different opportunities, showing up for them. What about that time that you stop to talk to somebody? Something happens, right? It's like it's magical switch. This interaction or this experience, if we show up, it creates an echo. And sometimes that echo can go on ringing out and sometimes it's a short echo. But think about if you didn't show up and you weren't there for that interaction, you weren't there to create that connection, you weren't there to experience that inspiration or have that opportunity arrive in your life. What if you didn't show up? What if you weren't there for that opportunity? There wouldn't be any echo at all in the first place. There'd only be this silence or your own reverberating echo chamber of one. So for me, showing up is important in terms of gathering inspiration. For me, showing up is important in terms of gathering those opportunities that come our way when we're growing a creative business as well. Those things like the email that you sent that led to an interview or a meeting online, the link that a friend of yours shared that opened the portal into this whole new way of thinking, new opportunities you didn't know existed. Imagine if we didn't show up for those things. How much would we miss? Practically speaking, what does this look like, right? If you're looking for design ideas, go out into the world, seek inspiration out. Don't be what Chuck Close calls an amateur, right? Chuck Close is famous for saying inspiration is for amateurs. And really what I think he meant with that is that we need to be active. We need to seek out that inspiration, to actively connect, to show up. It's not about sitting around and waiting for that lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. It's about showing up and being there for that inspiration and seeking it out. Do you want to build a creative business? Showing up is about being consistent. So how can we show up consistently? Well, take yourself seriously. Set a time, literally show up at a time, a non-negotiable time to show up each day or each week. Put it in your calendar, block it off, Make sure that no one else can use that time for anything except your one thing, which is about growing your creative business, making your dreams a reality, chipping away at success by showing up consistently. I didn't get here to where I am today, running a creative business online, doing this podcast without showing up. I show up every week for you, my listeners, for my students, for the incredible women I mentor in my mentorship. I sit down every day of the week and I show up. Woody Allen might say 80% of success is showing up, but I also like the way that Stephen Pressfield puts it. Put your ass where your heart wants to be. If your heart wants to be designing unique quilt patterns this year, if your heart wants to fully get into building that creative business online, then I'm going to make showing up for you super, super easy. I'm going to be giving you a place to show up for an entire week so that you can take action, so that you can start building that consistency of showing up. All you need to do is to show up for my free workshop. It's happening this week, January 14th through the 21st. You can head to aliryde.com/register to get your spot. And throughout this workshop, I'm going to be sharing those steps to design, write, and sell unique quilt patterns. In lesson 1, I'm going to be sharing the number one thing to avoid if you want to design unique quilt patterns. In lesson 2, I'm going to be sharing 3 secrets to successful quilt pattern writing. And in lesson 3, I'm going to be revealing the blueprint you need to grow a profitable quilt pattern design business online. And on the days between those lessons, I'm also going to be showing up. I'm going to be showing up live, answering your questions, and most importantly, sharing that mindset that goes behind being a designer and a creative entrepreneur, what it really takes to become successful. But, here's that simple truth again. It really just starts with showing up. Head to aliryde.com/register. Join me for this week of showing up. Use this as your accountability to start that habit of showing up. Start building that consistency. This workshop is on those 3 simple steps to build a profitable quilt pattern design business. I'm looking forward to sharing those with you, but I need you to show up. Make this dream of becoming a quilt pattern designer a reality. Stop dreaming, start doing. And that first step with all of those things, it's showing up. And I'm going to give you a real boost to set you on that right path. I'm going to be showing up every day for the next week. I'm going to be giving you guidance on those steps you need to take to be able to continue showing up consistently, start designing unique quilt patterns so you can confidently share your creativity with the world, so that you can start to build or grow your very own creative business. Find that purpose in your passion, live the type of life that you want to start to live. So if you're ready, your next steps are: step 1, head to aliryde.com/register and save your spot for the workshop. Step number 2 is to check your email for all of the details. And step number 3, let's see if you can guess it, is show up. You can do this. I'm showing you the path to start. All you need to do is show up. Put your ass where your heart wants to be, and I'll see you at the workshop. Head to aliryde.com/register, and I'll see you when you show up to lesson 1. I can't wait to see you there.